All right, take a look at the team ERA leaders this season in Major League Baseball. You can see the Red Sox, 3.51 ERA. That's third best in the big league, second in the American League. And since the 3rd of July, they have a 2.95 ERA as a team. And this past weekend, starting pitching coming through for the Red Sox, but they needed to bounce back in order to do that, showing some resiliency. Here's Chad Tracy.
It's good. I mean, obviously for a stretch of time there, we were doing it differently. It seemed like they were throwing 5+ innings of like scoreless ball and giving us an opportunity to get to the lead. And then we were talking about like maybe sometimes like towards the end of outings they might start to fatigue and show some blips. And now here lately it's almost kind of reversed, where like we've had some guys go out there, have some struggles early, and then they seem to get better at the end of the outing. We're making it work this way. It's like we get down early, but our offense is in a better spot, and we're able to fight back. And then these guys kind of get to a spot in that third or fourth inning, they lock it in and start putting up some zeros and allow us to get back all the way back or take a lead. So you like it either way, like as long as they're giving you the innings and they leave and you feel like you got a quality start and it's giving us a chance to win. That's what's most important.
And that's pretty much how it played out over the weekend against the Giants, because you had all three starters give up some early runs, but then bounce back in the later innings. And Sonny Gray was spotted a 5-1 lead in this one, but he got into some trouble in that fourth inning, and it starts with Drew Gilbert, who he gives up the home run right here, a 2-run shot. And so Giants get back in the game. Very next batter is Rafael Devers going yard.
Yeah, so it's about location right there. That was a breaking ball, which is his best pitch, but it's only effective if he locates it effectively. This is a fastball to Rafael Devers. That's where his damage comes from. There's a lot of swing and miss on that pitch as well from Devers, but at the end of the day, if you don't execute it, if you don't hit your spot, you're not going to be successful. So you got to get back to basics. Get ahead, stay ahead. Try to get into those pitchers' leverage counts. When you're 2-0, 2-1, you're not going to be successful oftentimes. And it's a complete opposite when you get to 2 strikes. You can see a bounce back right here in the 5th inning and the 6th inning. 8 pitches. It's about using what makes a good pitch. It's location, it's movement, and velocity. Typically, your velocity is not going to change very much. So the 2 things that you can work on is the location of these pitches, the movement on these pitches, and execution of those pitches. And that's what Sonny did. That's what a bunch of these pitchers this last time out had to do to go out there and save that bullpen. So, Gray's a veteran. This is a guy with 14 years at the big league level. He's had to do this before, and he is a good template for young players as well.
And Patrick Sandoval is your next starting pitcher in that series. That was game 2. And again, having to overcome a couple of home runs early on. Willy Adames, the first one to go yard. But, just solo shots given up from Sandoval, right? So no traffic.
Yeah, you're going to give up home runs. You're going to give up hits. When you start limiting walks, that's where you're going to be successful. Now, Sandoval, that's something that he's had to deal with throughout this season, is putting on free batters, giving up hits from there. So if he goes out there and walks 1 or 2 batters prior to this, now he's in damage control mode right there. But you can come back from a couple solo shots. And we talk about getting down to basics, getting back to basics. If you go out there and limit the contact because of the location. He's not a hard thrower, just like Gray, so the margin for error is not there. If he's going to be successful, he needs to be able to locate those pitches. And you can see his mix right there in the 5th inning, bouncing back from those solo shots. The changeup, that's his best pitch. Leaning on that, off of that 4-seam fastball up at the top of the zone, is prudent for him to go out there and make these adjustments.
Yeah, and giving up that solo shot in that inning, he was able to get out of a bases loaded jam as well. So he was able to limit the damage there. And then in the finale of the series, you have Jake Bennett. And this was something that we touched on earlier. They skipped him in the rotation, give him an opportunity, reaching that innings high, and then you get to the start on Sunday, Lenny, and things didn't start so well for him.
Yeah, honestly, you're watching this game, you're thinking, okay, he's going to be out of here by the 3rd or 4th inning. So much hard contact.
23-pitch first inning.
Yes, and then what did he do? He started limiting the pitches. You're talking 7, 8, 9-pitch innings from there, was able to go 7 innings. Great job from the young pitcher. How did he do it? The stuff is the same. The velocity is 92, 93, so you're not going to see a big raise in that. So you got to go out there and hit your spots. Change up your mix a little bit, because when you face Bennett, the scouting report says you're going to see changeup at the top of the zone. You're going to see, fastball at the top of the zone, changeup down. But you can see that cutter right there. Through two of those, the changeup's going to play. But the cutter is such a good pitch when you have a good changeup because it's basically the same velocity, comes out of the same tunnel, but it moves in exact opposite directions. So they're not going to be able to stay in there on that pitch when you have something moving in toward you instead of away.
Yeah, it was great to see Jake Bennett figure it out. I mean, what we saw after those early innings was the efficiency, right?
Exactly.
Single-digit pitch innings from Jake Bennett, which is when he was rolling. That's what we saw from him. Good stuff, Lenny Dinardo.
Thank you.